Okay, we have a Toyota 4Runner. This is a 2015 5th gen model, and go today and we are going to replace this side mirror. As you can see, we got it banged up a little bit, and this whole plastic piece is one piece, so we can't just replace the bottom part. We have to replace the entire mirror assembly. So first step here is we're gonna have to go inside, and we will be having to remove the entire door panel here. So unfortunately, it's not just a easy thing where we would pull this off. We're going to have to take the entire door panel off. So not that big of a deal though. It's just a few screws holding that in. Okay, so the tools we're going to use today, I've got this auto removal tool set. Pretty inexpensive on Amazon. And we'll also need just a Phillips and flathead screwdriver. And the first thing, this part right here is just held on by a couple of clips. So just put your fingers behind there and you can just gently pop that off. It pops right off, and you can see there's just two clips that are holding that in. So that'll come right off. Okay, so the three screws that are holding this in, the first one, I'm going to use this this small tool here. You could also use just a small flathead screwdriver, but if you put this in here right by where the door is unlocked, there's just a little bit of a thing here. And we'll just pop that out. A little tough to do with one hand, but there we go. So that's just, you can see that's just held in with the clip, and it's gonna reveal the first screw. And the second screw is located in this small square cover here. And now this one doesn't come all the way off, but you can put your screwdriver, your tool up in here, and it just pops right down. And so you can see where it still stays connected. And there's screw number 2. And then the third screw is right underneath the door handle here. There's another cover that's just like the one up there. And just pop that one off. And then there's screw number 3. So we're going to go ahead and remove those screws. Okay, so we got the screws off, and now the rest of the door panel is held on with some clips. And we're going to start off with the bottom, and there's a little bit of pressure. We're just going to pull out those clips. And then it should just lift right up off the top. And there we go. It's all removed. Now there's a couple of things holding it. For just taking the mirror off, we're going to not need to remove all of the other things that are connected, like the power door locks, the seat, and power windows. So those all won't have to be removed. We can just keep everything hooked up. We'll only need to be worried about this one right here. It's got a box resting underneath it, so just to hold it up. But so the inside of the panel here, and you can see the other things that are connected for the windows and such. We want to be careful with those, but you can see all the clips stayed in the door, So we have one over here, one down there. There's a couple there. There's one right here that stayed in the door and that came off of the interior trim here. I'm just going to remove that and put it back in the door so it'll pop right back in when we're ready to reassemble. Your socket, and that will be to remove the 3 screws that are holding the side view mirror on. Okay, we're just going to make sure to hold that. Should fall out, but going to make sure that it doesn't. And the last thing, we've removed those bolts. We need to just disconnect this clip here for the heated and power mirrors. And you just take your flathead, just push that in right there, and it should pop right out. And the last thing that you'll need to do, if this is still factory installed, is got some tape here that is holding the wires. We'll just need to trim that. Pull that off. And take the mirror off. Okay, so we have our new mirror. I'll put a link to this in the notes, but it comes with everything everything you need here. The only thing is that it only comes in black, so we're going to remove the cover here and put our old body color match on. Now this, if you look at your mirror like this, the top cover comes off, and it's just held on by a couple of clips here at the bottom, so just push those up, that'll come right off. Okay, we're ready to start our reassembly. Start back through. Line our 3 bolts back up. Okay, now this is the little bit of a tricky part, but getting this trim back on, the best way to do it is to start up at this end, and then we'll work our way back down. So you'll be able to tell and feel the ridge that needs to go in. Tilt it up a little bit this way, and start right down there. Once you get that caught, go to the other side, get that one caught in there, just work it down. Perfect on the top. Now we'll go around from the back and work those clips back in. Now on this one, just another little bit of a tip. Getting this back in, there's one clip right here that seems to catch and get pulled off every time you do it. So if you go ahead and pull it off, that's fine. It goes on a lot easier that way. And then you can just go back in and clip it back in. And we're going to go back through. We've got our screw holes that are lined up. You can see that. And we're going to slip these back in. Everything's tight. Everything is tight. Before we put our screws back in, just going to double check and make sure that everything is still functional. Make sure that our mirror is working. Good to go on that. Windows are good. Door locks are good. Let's screw everything back in. trim pieces back on. We're almost good to go. Here is to put our white trim piece back on. Again, this is just the 2 clips at the bottom. We're just going to make sure that our trim piece is on there good. Good to go. So thanks for joining. Be sure to subscribe and check out my next video where we're going to do a little mod and add this blind spot mirror to the 4Runner. This is a RAV4 with a built-in blind spot mirror. Fits perfectly though and works well with a heated mirror, so I'm going to show that on the next video. Thanks a lot, guys.